This is Tailwind's website. It's a beautiful website and it has a couple of different ways of showing code and demos. Let's see, look at this. There's also this one. So I made this clone to show how to do similar things using CodeHike. Let's see how it works. This is using Next.js. It also has Tailwind installed. I created the project using this tutorial from Tailwind. And we also have a CodeHike setup done with this other tutorial from CodeHike. We use the app.js file to include a couple of CSS files, and then we have the index, which displays these 4 sections. So the header is this first section. Then we have modern features. Then we have state variant, which is this one, and not components. Let's start with the header section. So most of the JSX is copy-paste from Tailwind's website. The interesting element here is content, which comes from this MDX file. Content is this part. Let me show you by removing it, and I'll back again. This part. The main feature here is that the code and the preview change together automatically, like a slideshow. Well, here in the MDX file, we are using the slideshow component from CodeHike. But before going into that component, let me show you this CSS file. If you're already familiar with CodeHike, you will know that the code usually looks like this. And if we, there are a lot of things. Okay, if we remove the styles here, you'll see that this looks like the default styles. So this works because the CodeHike components have, all the elements have different classes, and here in the CSS we are applying Tailwind classes to CodeHike classes. Okay, let's save this and back to the slideshow. The slideshow component by default looks like this. It has some code, a preview, and controls to change the step. And you change the steps, change the preview. If we go back here and remove the styles for this section, and also remove the background, and let's also remove this thing and refresh just in case. Now we have something similar to the docs, and I can change the steps using the controls. I can go back. The steps come from the MDX. We use the divider to separate steps. This is the first step. This is the code for the first step. In this case, we are using this annotation from CodeHike to include an external file, which is this one. So this code is the same as this one, but we could also write the code here in line. Refresh here. Inside the preview, we could also write something right here. Instead of importing the component, can write something in line, and we could also write some notes that will be shown as the description here of the step, but we are not using this. Let's undo this cancel, yes. Now let me show you the demo component. We're passing a different step index in each step, and since CodeHike will keep the instance of this component alive, we can use something like framer motion to animate between steps. This again, this is the code. The JSX comes from the Tailwind's website. I just put the steps inside an array here, and when we change the step, this is the same instance that is changing. CodeHike is changing the prop here, and we can animate the preview between each step. Now let's undo all the changes and go to the next section, which is the modern features. This one has 3 steps that we change using these buttons. And if we go to the MDX, we'll see we are using the spotlight component. The spotlight component usually looks like this. It's similar to the slideshow component, but you can think of this like tabs. When you click in one tab, you change the code and the preview. Let's remove the custom styles and background again, but for this section, modern features, we have the style here and the background here, and now you can see it's more similar to what we have here. The main difference is that here we have these buttons. You can see grid button, transforms button, and here we have text. So instead of text, we have a component or some JSX. We could have more text, and it will show here. Let me undo this and this, also this, and refresh. The next section changes the code when you hover some elements, like this. If we go to the MDX, we see we are using the section component from CodeHike. There's a feature from CodeHike that is this one called mentions. So inside a CH section, we can use the link syntax from Markdown to create these elements. And when you hover one of these, it changes the code that is highlighted. And here we are using the link syntax, but instead of text, we have this JSX that renders these buttons or items. It works, but to be honest, this is a bad idea. We should only put text inside here. For the last section, we use a plain CH code component. It's here, this one. Let's go to the docs. We are using 2 things. One is this panels. We use the divider to split the code in 2 panels. If I remove this and go back here, I need to refresh. You see we have the 2 tabs, the same code but in different tabs. And if we add this back, refresh, we have it in 2 panels. We're also using this rows prop. Let's remove it to see what's happened. So now this panel shows the full code, all this code. So we have the rows prop to tell CodeHike. For example, we want to only show the code that is focused. So we put focus, and see now we're only showing 4 lines when reality is 2 lines, and this is some padding. But if we want more height here, we could use, like, tell that for the first panel we want focus, but the second one we want 4 rows. And when we refresh, we have more space here. The code for this demo is here on GitHub. There's also the link to the website here. And if you have comments, you can leave them on YouTube or come here to the GitHub discussions on the CodeHive repo. And if you like this video, there's another one. It's pretty similar, but for the striped dogs. And if you want to help, we are always looking for sponsors. I'll put all these links in the description of the video. Thank you.